Now we could absolutely do this by hand, and there is value to understanding how to add and subtract fractions with whole numbers, but this is a standardized test, and the goal is to be as efficient as possible and to avoid silly mistakes and to save our mental reserves for those really hard questions. So let me show you the cool thing about Desmos. You can literally just go in here, type this in, which is why it's important to just get really comfortable with how to type all this. Notice, for example, you need to move to the right, and then we'll keep typing the rest of it. Same thing here. I can't just put X. I have to go to the right and put X. And look at that. I get my solution right here. X equals this value. Well, this is a crazy decimal, and it's not going to be something that if I type in 0.79412, it's going to somehow turn into a nice fraction like one of these. So something that is beneficial is to have a sense around fractions. So what I mean by that is, let's talk about the difference between a proper fraction, an improper fraction, and then a number over itself. So for example, let's say I have 2 over 3, 3 over 2, and let's go with 3 over 3. Now, each of these has a specific relationship to the number 1. We probably know that anything over itself is 1. It's good to then know that a proper fraction, in other words, when the numerator is smaller than the denominator, which if you think about it, that's a pretty standard fraction. You learned those kinds of fractions well before you started to get into improper fractions. So think of proper as like normal. And those kinds of fractions are less than 1, which makes sense because as soon as you started to learn about fractions, the idea was smaller than 1, a part of the whole. Now, if instead you have an improper fraction or a top-heavy fraction where the numerator is larger than the denominator, then you get a value larger than 1. And that makes sense because 2 goes into 3 one time, or at least one time, with something left over. So since we know that this is a decimal smaller than 1, that should go with a proper fraction. So let's start to eliminate things. Now I accidentally clicked this one, and unfortunately you can't just like unclick it. So let's just go with it. So I'm gonna eliminate the ones that are improper. So notice this is top heavy, let's eliminate it. This one's top heavy, eliminate it. And this one's top heavy. So the only one that was a proper fraction is option A. And so that's the correct answer. And I could have typed it in here now to confirm that it is the correct answer.